hope you look for a medical school that believes in another principle. And that's the principle of social justice. There are some very unsettling, some very wrong statistics out there. Think about this. At least 47 million Americans have no health insurance. That's nearly 1 in 6. And here in California, 1 in 5 people don't have health insurance. These are our friends, our neighbors, our family members. They don't have a doctor they can call their own. That's a huge problem. You guys are part of the solution to that problem because you want to become doctors. But people have to be able to pay for it too. So I bet you've been listening on the news about some of the discussions, if you're from California, in the state legislature about health care reform. There are a lot of people trying to improve health care. In fact, in Sacramento, our Governor Arnie, our legislators, they've stayed at the Capitol for a special session to try and enact health care reform. Some of them want government to expand services and provide health care for everyone. Others say that the private sector should take a stronger role. And many, and perhaps most, advocate a combination of increased responsibility for individuals, employers, and government. Regardless of where you come out on health care reform, we have to do it differently. But there are 2 major challenges in health care reform right now. First, there are a lot of groups out there with competing interests. By that I mean everyone from insurance companies to pharmaceutical manufacturers to hospitals and physicians. And you know what? Too often, those individual agendas mean that we all forget where the focus should be. The focus has to be on what's best for patients. The second problem is even bigger. There simply aren't enough doctors, nurses, and other healthcare providers. There aren't enough patients sitting at the table when these important decisions are made. So, when you're looking for a medical school, I hope you ask questions about how you get involved in areas like health policy and advocacy. Groups like AMSA are a great place to start, and you should always ask what opportunities are available at the school that you're interviewing, the school to which you're going to apply. What other values should you look for in choosing a medical school? In addition to a place that teaches the importance of reducing health disparities, the importance of social justice, I think that you should look for a place that teaches you that becoming a doctor isn't about what you get. It's about what you give back. I know that many of you are taking loans in order to go through college, right? And many of you will have to borrow even more money to go through medical school. And it's understandably tempting to start worrying about money and debt. But it's important for you, I believe, to view these costs as an investment in your future, and most importantly, an investment in your community. It's important for you to remember that the goal of going to medical school is not to make money, but to make a difference. I hope that your college and your medical school experiences teach you a very important principle. The success of your practice, your hospital, your clinic is not defined by how much it makes, but by how much it gives back. This is the principle of social responsibility. It means that individuals like you, especially in fields like medicine, should embrace your role to make our communities a better place. Hospitals like UC Davis, which serve the underserved, believe in social responsibility. We are dedicated to promoting the health and well-being of our community. And you know what? Financially, it's not easy to provide millions of dollars of uncompensated care every year. But we do it We do it because we know it's the right thing to do. So no matter where you choose to practice or which specialty you choose, I hope you will always find ways to give back to your community. And I hope that the medical school that you interview and in which you enroll teaches you the importance of embracing social responsibility. In sum, when you finally reach that day and you receive your MD, sounds good, doesn't it? I hope you will say that medical school taught you much more than just the facts about the practice of medicine. Because the practice of medicine will continue to change at an ever-increasing pace, what is so much more important is that medical school will have taught you the principles of medicine, the values that will guide you through your lifelong journey, because those things won't change. I urge you to hold fast to the principles I have just described: reducing health disparities, advancing social justice, and embracing social responsibility. If you do those things, I know you will find the answers that help patients everywhere. And as you progress through medical school and your career, I hope you will remember those values in your classrooms, the clinics in which you practice, in the community in which you live. A woman named Jane Addams knew the importance of these ideals. She was an activist in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. She was the first president of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. And she said this: "The good we secure for ourselves is precarious and uncertain until it is secured for all of us and incorporated into our common life." In 1931, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. So today, my charge to you is to secure a greater common good for your patients, for your communities, for our world. And I know you can do it because you've taken the time to come to an event like this where you are sharing your ideas and talking about the future of medicine. I know you will be a part of the future of medicine, and I want to thank AMSA, American River College, and Jubin for having me here. I wish all of you the very best of luck in your future. Have a great conference.
So I was wondering, does anybody want to ask Dr. Palmer any questions? Anyone?
So the question was, what is the advice to women to become a strong leader? And this is the advice for women, but it's the advice, I think, for everyone, which is define your values. Define what you believe in, and then make sure that you make every decision based on those principles. Too often, it's easy to make decisions about where you want to go on the basis of expediency, or some people on money, or those kind of things. But if you know your values, you will make the right decisions. Second point, time management. Okay, we've gone from the high level to the practical. You all multitask all the time. If you want a career in medicine, and this is especially true in our society for women, you will have multiple competing demands on your time. You've got to learn to prioritize. I believe in making lists. I believe in today goal lists, the week lists, and the month list, and the year list. Write them down and tick them off. If it's down on the list, you don't have to have it running around in your head because it's down on the list. So whatever little tools you can come up with for time management, that's really, really important. Sometimes it's very easy to put the big stuff off. And so, say you have a big paper to write. It's easy to do the small stuff and keep putting off the big paper. Well, take the big paper, and divide it up into smaller chunks.